How's it going, everyone? Equinox Phoenix here, and today we are going to talk about Legacies season 4, episode 16, titled I Would Be Standing Here If It Weren't For You. So, Caleb and Cleo are back. That's And we get the first proof of concept, as it were, of uh, Cleo being an oracle. A woman at a cafe drops a mug. And it matches perfectly an image that Cleo drew. So, um, because of the fact that Cleo drew the town on fire, the Super Squad and Alaric and whatnot decide we're gonna evacuate the entire school. Now, Lizzie is going full guilt trip, right? Like she's full guilt trip. It's all my fault. The pact between her and what's her name? Aurora. Oh my god, I forgot Aurora's name. Between Aurora is complete. A god has been raised. And she's freaking out. Now, Lizzie goes, confronts Hope. Hope accidentally um runs Lizzie out of the dungeon. But Lizzie does come back, and she comes back with a music box, a magical music box, specifically. Meant to, take your fears and put it in the box, then try. Okay, so she tells Hope, take your fears. The reason your no humanity self is still around is simply because you're holding on to her, not her holding on to you. And she is a representation of your fears. So take your fears and put it in the box. Now, as Hope is trying to like think of what her fears are, her non-humanity self is literally like a bullet shot all of Hope's fears. It's just like, yeah, you're right. You should have shut up. Because now I know exactly what I'm afraid of, and so she succeeds. And they transform her into like a butterfly thing. And then with the spell. Now, when Lizzie says we watch it as it fades away, Hope's just like incendia, just lights the butterfly on fire, just in case. But cool. Now, Jen does try to run away, um, to keep everyone safe and whatnot, because she's like, oh, they'll give me up anyway. We know that's not true. And Jed confronts Ben, um, after finding out that Ben is gonna kill Caleb. They manage to save Caleb. Ethan takes Caleb and MG away as Jed confronts Ben, and it ends with him snapping Ben's neck. We know that's not gonna kill him. We find out that the reason he brought his dad back is not to bring his old flame to life. It is to remove his curse, which, damn it. There were a bunch of articles after last week's episode about like, oh, Ben's villain arc. Um, it was it was horribly done. He's not a villain. That's why it's horribly done. It's because Ben isn't a villain, right? The man wanted to keep his loved ones safe, and the only way to do that is to get rid of his curse. And the only way to get rid of the curse was to bring his dad back. Short-sighted as all fuck, yes, but not villainous. Hope has done somewhat similar. Klaus, we know for a fact Klaus has done exactly this. The man took his daughter's curse onto himself and ran away. Giving Hope some severe abandonment issues temporarily. Now, of course, Hope used her nigh omnipotent tribrid magic powers to ask to project herself to her dad, which was funny as fuck to see. But yeah, that's not an excuse, right? Like, oh, I did it for my loved ones. That's not an excuse. That doesn't make you villainous. The articles were stupid. I'm going on the record on video to say every article written about how Ben's villain arc or villain reveal was horribly done. It's all a bunch of cap bullshit. For those who don't know what cap is, um, because he's not a villain. He didn't become a villain. He didn't reveal himself as a villain. He did a thing very anti-hero like, but an anti-hero isn't a villain. They are the definition of neutrality. Well, neutrality leading towards good, right? They are the hero that does what needs to be done at times. Now, Ben's instance is short-sighted, but that doesn't mean it was horribly done, right? Anyway, moving on. After Hope succeeds, everyone's like, "Look, we're not gonna give up." Ken shows up and is like, "Give me my daughter! Give me my traitorous daughter, or I will kill you all! I am the supervillain! Hardy, 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 hardy!" Literally generic supervillain monologue. He literally, this man, this ancient ass god, went for generic human supervillain monologue number like 3. Like, what the fucking fuck? Is Ken supposed to be comedy and relief? Anyway. Alaric agrees. We don't give up the thing. We sent her to the bunker. Obviously, I mentioned Jen ran away. Cleo found her. Blah blah blah. Now, while they're talking, Cleo mentions I've changed the future, and she's like, "Then you're not an oracle anymore. You're changing it to something else." And before Jen could explain what it is, Hope casts a sleep spell at all the students of the school, knocking them out. And guess who was in range of the spell? Yeah, Cleo was in range of the spell. So she passed out in Jen's arms. Before Jen could explain. Now, afterwards, Lucy's like, "You can't fight this guy alone." And Hope's like, "Who said I'm alone?" Like, hello, you're still awake. It's like, you're still awake. And so they're like, they do like the pinky promise thing again. I do love how, while explaining the music box, Lizzie did come out and say that while she was a horrible bitch to Hope, it was out of jealousy. Because Hope had everything Lizzie wanted. She had no outbursts. She was cool, loved by everyone, always knew what to say. All of these things, which, I mean, Lizzie can have that. Lizzie can have that. I'm not gonna say no, the writers have to give it to her because it needs to make sense, but Lizzie can have that. She just, needs to. I actually don't know. I don't. We don't know what it exactly is wrong with Lizzie, so I can't be like, oh, she needs to do this to get it, but like, she can have it. There are ways, She is heading towards it at the very least right now. She's on that trajectory, which is good. Now, Hope does come out and be like, and fights Ken. Lizzie shows up, absorbs some of his magic, but it's too much for Lizzie, and he flings her straight into the gate. Thankfully, one, the gate is metal, not wood, and two, it hits her in the abdomen, not in the heart. So she only knocks out. Now, Hope tries to fight Ken, fails miserably. She gets her ass beat, and Ken's like, everybody dies, even you will be a disappointment. And that's when Jun shows up. She's like, look, if you're looking for someone to be disappointed in, I'm right here, right? Like, don't kill Hope. And so he goes up to her, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna fry her right here in front of us. He doesn't. He actually just takes her alive, and they disappear in a bolt of lightning. Um, Now everybody except Hope wakes up. Um, More on why Hope doesn't wake up later. Everyone's and I think it's Cleo. Yeah, Cleo and Caleb are like talking, and she's like, "Look, our main concern is Hope isn't waking up." Um, Now before we go into why Hope isn't waking up, because that is revealed this episode, I need to talk about Landon because we did skip over it. Landon, as we know, got kidnapped. Now, fun fact about Landon's kidnapper: we meet her this episode. I guess who Landon's kidnapper is. Like, y'all are never gonna believe this. Landon's kidnapper is his mother. His mother is in limbo. Right when she introduces herself, you know, the necromancer's being all necromancer y, and then Landon's just like, "Mom," which is like, "Wait." I was like, "Wait, she looks." Honestly, when I saw her, I was like, "Wait, she looks familiar. Who the hell is she?" I swear, is she from like the originals or something, or the Vampire Diaries? No, no, no. She's from Legacy. She is from Legacies. Anyway, so it turns out that Sala, Lyden's mom, decided she wants to give the middle finger to the Jinn uh by interfering with his work and collecting coins, preventing him from getting it, so that he can find peace. Now they do have a walk, and he's like, "Hey, let me." Lionel's like, "Let me show you what I do." Right? He explains how the light she saw before she ended up in limbo and whatnot is because she gives the story of how she ended up in limbo, and then he explains, "Yeah, that's my girl. That was my girlfriend killing Malivore in my body, with a stake made out of her own blood. Sending us all here. So all the monsters of Malivore are now in limbo. Hey, we now know where everyone went. Um, I guess if you die in Malivore, you die in real life. That's some SAO shit. Anyway, so he shows his mom that Layton's playing therapist. He's playing therapist for the lost, and he's like, you know what? I got time for one more. He tried because his mom was like, I've never had enough. Blah blah blah. It's like it's because you need your own coin. So he plays therapist with his mom. His mom is her issue, which Landon does resolve, is she feels she failed as a mother. Landon's like, no, you never failed as a mother. Not to me. Like to Landon, she never failed as a mother. He lived a life full of love, adventure, everything. He had all the things. He doesn't see it as she failed, and she cries a little bit, and voila, a coin. This would be really great if I had like a 50-cent piece, because that's about the same size. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have one anymore. I had one as a kid, but I don't have anymore. It would be really cool as for like a prop. I guess I could use the 50 Mira coin I have from the Cold Steel 1 collectors, but that's effort. Because I'd have to put it back after the video. Anyway, the coin shows up, and obviously Landon's gotten like a mountain full of coins for himself. This man could literally just grab any coin that and just be like, here's one of my like 1,000 coins and go to peace. So as Landon is saying goodbye to his mother and she's sailing off successfully, we find out why Hope isn't waking up. Hope is now in limbo. And when Landon sees her, they hug, and the episode ends there. Now, before I end off the video, I want to say where I'm hoping this is going. If you recall, 1 to 2 seasons ago, the Necromancer said that Klaus is still around. He is watching over Hope because he's worried about her. My hope, pun intended, is that next episode, or within the next 2 episodes, we get Klaus. We get Klaus in limbo, and he finally finds peace. Um, he's had his funeral. Finally, 3 years later, or whatever. Um, and it's taken several years from Tav's funeral. That's fine. Now, I want Klaus to finally get the closure in regards to Hope and to move on. Maybe we could get Elijah and Finn as well. All the dead Michelsons. I think it's just those three. We could even have Phoebe Tonkin show up as Haley. Let's go, right? Um, I want Hope's family, at least the dead ones, even if to just have closure, right? It's kind of been on my mind and weighing on me a bit that Klaus is still around because he's worried about his daughter. Like, this is very much the family man, right? Now, like I said, Klaus is a very good example of what Ben did. Um, he didn't go about it in the best ways, but Klaus did what he did. We know this for his family, to keep his family safe and as whole as possible. Now, we know that, yeah, probably not the best idea to dagger your second eldest sibling or whatever, right? In the case of Finn. But, where's Finn now again? Oh, yeah, he was killed. He died. Uh, shit. Maybe Finn should have stayed in the coffin. No, realistically, Finn was an asshole towards the end. He was both an asshole, but not like he was an asshole in life. He was like, I don't want to be a vampire. Oh, no, woe is me. Like Cole didn't like being a vampire. He liked being a witch. He preferred it. But Cole's coping mechanism was to hang out with witches. Why couldn't Finn have done that? Right? Finn was very much he's a sore subject with the Michelsons and with me as a viewer. Anyway, yeah. So next episode, I'm hoping we get Klaus. Please, Joseph Morgan. Please, I'm begging you. We're getting Joseph Morgan in Titans, but like I want him back as Klaus. Seeing the man himself, the boy. I miss Klaus so much. I miss Klaus so much. But anyway, yeah. So that's the episode. Hopefully we get Klaus next episode. Come on, please, writers, give me the boy. We've already gotten all of the living Michelsons. Give us the man himself. Come on. Anyway, tell me what you guys thought of this episode down in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe for new. I will see you guys next time. And as always, stay bright.